Boop. Bleep. Hello guys, Idris is here with a new video, new build guide. This is gonna be the last, my last build of the league, of this ultimatus. This league has been fun. I've made a lot of characters. It's been long as shit though. Hopefully, thankfully, it's gonna be ending soon. And yeah, this was my last project. Ultimately, I was like, what am I gonna do for the, for the last bits of it? And I went with the Righteous Fire Juggernaut. I went all in with it. It's I'm gonna be talking about it a bit later, but yeah, I decided to make a exquisite Righteous Fire Juggernaut build because I love Righteous Fire. It's one of my favorite skills, and it's been such. It's been very difficult as well, like as most of other players, I assume. I enjoy, difficulty in game to some extent. I don't like difficulty as in like hardcore and stuff, because for me difficulty is just, overcoming like small challenges, like when building a character, for example, not like risking everything you've put into it to some, DC. I'm talking about hardcore. Like this kind of risk doesn't appeal to me, but Righteous Fire does. Anyway, it was like one of my first characters ever, so I have big love for this build. So let's do a T15 Kenya with some speed mods, nothing special. TLDR, guys. This fucking sucks. This build fucking sucks. I put like 100 exalts into it, mostly in helm and the staff, scepter, sorry. It deals like, I don't know, like 800k DPS. It's not the best helmet and scepter. It's not the best variation and setup, but kind of works, right? Kind of run around and shit burns. What Righteous Fire is supposed to do. I'm using Warcry as well. The combustion, or whatever it's called, Infernal Cry, helps a little bit on clearing, but of course clunky, right? You have to come to the pack and Warcry. I found it to be fucking necessary, like, mandatory during ultimatums, because in 2021 just running around and burning shit around you without any explosions, any self-homing skill, or without 10 million DPS is not an option, unfortunately. So, oh man, it pains me to say this, but Righteous Fire is fucking buried, man, buried underground. Maybe if you go trickster or or anything else but jug, I guess you'll be better off. As you can see, it kind of clears. It's messy. It's it's no flicker strike. It doesn't self-navigate you. Kind of works, right? Kind of works. Maybe for my intro you were expecting worse, but yeah. The Infernal Cry supposedly helps during ultimatums, especially when when I run around, I find that there's a lot of rare monsters left because I burn pretty slowly, right? 800k DPS is nothing, so I just Infernal Cry and they pop. Kinda. That was the theory anyway, but kind of works. I also drop Orb of Storms to proc Equilibrium and Overload. Overload mostly. I have some cold damage added to attacks to shield charge to proc my Equilibrium. This is one of the biggest DPS options, but sources, right? Early Equilibrium and early Overload. This build has been like this since its day one. Right? I also run Divine Flesh. My resistances are like 86 fire, 80 cold, 80 lightning, and 86 chaos, which helps sustaining Righteous Fire and be a bit tanky, right? Being Juggernaut, we get physical damage reduction and yada yada yada. On paper, it's supposed to be the tankiest character ever, but on practice, being a raider these days is way more tanky. unfortunately. Lessened reach.
Your own volleys turn against you.
I'm running Regis Fire in a helmet. That's why I'm having like not the best AoE, right? Because concentrated effect, and by the way, we might be lucky and get Dungeon Master, maybe last day of the league or whatever. Not sure. As long as I don't die, that is. Okay. Kinda does clear an ulti T15, you know, juiced up, kinda sorta. But at what cost? Yes. Alright, let me kill the bosses. Easier said than done, not gonna lie. Ow. This dude is probably gonna send me to hideout. No, it doesn't. Alright, maybe it does a little bit. Yep. Finally done. Yeah, so... Back to the build. It works. It hurts. Look at what they've done to my boy. Righteous Fire, unfortunately, hasn't received any love these days. Right, lately it's out of date. Juggernaut is the worst Ascendancy in the world. In like not only in PoE, it's probably like I don't know, man. This just sad. Like these notables, if you read at them, take a read. It's just pathetic, especially unyielding. 8. Oh, alright. That's it's a long story. It just said, you know, it was my second build ever. Like one of the reasons why I got into PoE, you know, like the theory crafting and whatnot. But oh well. Anyway, let's talk about my gear. As I said, it's a kind of a pseudo 7-link helmet. This thing, level 18 burning damage and level 18 concentrated effect. I was spamming essences as one would until I got burning damage. It took me like 80 essences, which were like 0.6 exalts or something. So like 50 exalts just to get suffixes ready. And then I reforged keeping suffixes until I got concentrated effect. Right? I got extremely lucky. I landed it on second try. I landed only concentrated effect. I think so. I think it was the way I cried. Yeah. I had a couple in my horticulture station. So yeah, I got the base. I went with Awakening. As you can see, it's Shaper and Elder Helm, which is a mistake. You should only go with Elder if you want to recreate it for some reason. But yeah, essences are omega expensive. It was a pain in the butt to trade for them, especially this late in the league. But you know, got it. This helm for 50 exalts, not bad. You know, then unveiled and yeah. Oh no, sorry guys. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I got suffixes. Then I was locking suffixes and veiled chaos spamming, because you can hit two things. You can hit +1 AoE or +2 AoE if it's unveiled, or life. So I hit life and conk effect, right? It was an unveiled mod and conk effect, so I unveiled. Yeah, it took me like 2 tries. Yep. As for the helm, pretty cool, right? Yeah, I guess. And I went with Red Sphere AoE for the AoE to compensate for conk effect. Kaom's Heart with +1 all max res, it was like 1 exalt, not too bad. Saffels frame with increased life, it was like 70c. Because we're stacking maximum resistances in theory, yes. So as you can see, 86 fire, 80, 86 chaos. Gloves, just life resistances. Very important in this build. I need to stack chaos resistance as well. That's why I went with like, you know, chaos resistance on basically all my gear. Nothing special, right? but be careful, don't get like Word of Flame or Word of Inferno or whatever, like any enchant to do with fire, because you don't want to be hitting shit with fire, not to proc your equilibrium. Yes, two-tone boots, same resistance, as you can see, fire, cold, chaos. These were like one exalt or something, and lightning damage if I haven't killed recently basically helps me proc. I don't know, it doesn't do much, but you know, maybe on bosses from time to time it still is lightning, right? Just an insurance to proc Illy Equilibrium, because when I hit them with lightning on all cold, they get minus 50 fire rest. Illy Equilibrium I get from this scepter. It's a high base. This crafting this cost me like 40 something exalts. It's plus 1 all spell skill gems, which I fractured. Like, this was the most expensive part of the craft. Not really. Then I was Scorched Fossil spamming until I got plus 1 fire, right? So at that point, like, I went with 5 fractures, 1 in 5. It was average luck, and the base like cost me like 18 exalts by itself. Like the stabilizing scepter plus all fire skill gems, right? Because the base is also like some 30 C or something, and yeah, 5 tries overall. Then I got fire spell skill gems. Then I annulled another prefix. Then I veiled. How did I do it? I don't quite remember. Yeah, then I veiled. Then I veiled the prefix. So I had at that point I hit fire.multi. Right, and I had 3 prefixes, as you can see, all spell, all fire, and fire.multi, and like bunch of shit suffixes. Then I re-rolled keeping prefixes until I got an open suffix, then locked prefixes and veiled chaos. I did like lock prefixes and re-roll maybe like 5, 6, or even like more times. So another like 15 exalts ish on top to the price. So yeah, it was like. It's like around 40 exalts to craft this, but you know, until I hit damage per endurance charge and increase critical strike chance for spells, it helps with proccing Ellie Overload greatly. And I got accuracy like later on. Maybe I will go for the anal. Anyway, yeah, using replica at series foible because it's best in slot. I think I was trying to be creative and shit. Went with shaped seed amulet, or whatever it's called, shaped marble amulet with like the region implicit, and you know, I was gonna go with fire.multi, but it's low weighting. It was a shit show. And then I looked at other guys who were doing righteous fire and who were way more experienced, and they were just 90% of them were using at series foible. So yeah, why trying to create some shit that's already been done, right? Yeah, using a Kaom's way for the plus 1 endurance charge and a bunch of regen, a lot of regen. It gives 0.4 per endurance charge. I have 7 endurance charges. Quick muffs, 2.8 life regen, Not that much that I think about it, but just whatever. It is what it is. And a ring with frenzy charge generation and minimum frenzy charges, and life and chaos res, kinda pathetic ring. And I crafted on cold damage to attacks to proc Ellie Equilibrium with shield charge. Belt is a Stygian with life recovery rate. All you do is you grab a Elder Stygian or a Hunter Stygian and just spam pristine fossils. It took me like 300 to hit T1 life, T1% life, and life recovery. And Jewel is life and some res. Alright. For the tree, this is Divine Flesh setup. Being a Marauder, you start with life. I grabbed some resistances because kind of resistance starved, because you get a lot of uniques, right, and a lot of suffixes that are already taken. So it's kind of might be hard to cap your elemental resistances. So this is how I did it. Some just the usual life, endurance charges everywhere we can. The Divine Judgment wheel, and stretching for the overload. This is a necessity in this build, and this is a necessity. Early equilibrium I'm getting from my scepter, so I don't need to stretch for it. Yes, spend some points. Cluster jewel setup is Lord of Drought, area of effect mostly, area of effect, elemental damage, widespread, and burning bright. Fire that multi-fire damage, area of effect. Ideally, it's not supposed to be Lord of Drought, but prismatic heart, but those are costly, like 10 exalts or something. For the medium cluster is fire that multi, exposure therapy, burning bright, more area a bit, and dot multi. For the Watcher's Eye, I have malevolence dot multi. And yeah, just decent life, some res, some dex, jewels, and whatnot. Oh yeah, this one was pretty good, pretty good. This one I crafted myself. I didn't craft it. I think I did it and then exalted it. As much as crafting goes. Divine Flesh. What Divine Flesh does is all damage taken bypasses energy shield. Doesn't matter. I don't use energy shield, and 50 of elemental damage taken as chaos damage. It also works with righteous fire. So 50% of burning righteous fire will be as chaos.multi, and it kinda helps. It doesn't really do much when it comes to righteous fire, because like as you can see, I have 86 fire and 86 chaos. So it doesn't matter if I take 1,000 fire damage over time or 500 chaos and 500 fire, right? Because it's same resistances. But it kinda is a good defensive mechanic overall, because there's a lot of elemental damage shit does in this game, right? So kinda evenly, I don't know the word, but hopefully it does something for my build. Anyway, that's what I decided to go with. And I divined my jewel until I got Cult of Chaos, this one, +1 maximum chaos res, on a 2 passive in place. And yeah, this is what I've been rolling with. I grabbed some cooldown recovery for War Cries because I want War Cries in the end. And yeah, as always, I will be leaving the path of building in the description below. You can check out for yourself. It's as I said, the build is working, but there's nothing special, and nothing really chaseable in this one. Juggernaut Ascendancy. Unflinching. I went with Unstoppable first, just for the movement speed as well, and not being frozen. This is the only node I respect in this, not gonna lie. This one is also pretty okay-ish, I guess. Unflinching, endurance charge generation, +1 endurance charge. Unrelenting, additional physical damage reduction. This is what I get most of the physical damage reduction from, right? Reduced elemental damage taken at maximum endurance charges, works with righteous fire, and chaos resistance per endurance charge. For my build, doesn't matter because I'm chaos resistance capped right away. And unbreakable, very strong defensive. It's pretty strong defensive node. 1.5% of total physical damage prevented from hits in the past 10 seconds is regenerated as life per second is a lot. And also, like, we have a armor chest piece. That's why the double is pretty cool. Yeah. Forgot about gem links. Gem links are righteous fire in the helm. While righteous fire as well, because it's a pretty good button to press on bosses. It does like 900k DPS. Just kind of doubles DPS. Awakened LE focus, efficacy, and inspiration. Inspiration I get from shield charging around, and from Scorching Ray and Frost Blink and Infernal Cry. Like, I linked them to a bunch of inspiration to a bunch of shit. It's one of the best links you can get. If you're using a helm, that is. If you're using a 6 link, it still is gonna be in 6 link. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I'm doing these links because I already have burning damage and conk effect, right? So it's a kinda 7 link pseudo, because there's also the essence mod. And being a 7 link righteous fire, only with like a bunch of shit supporting it, deals only 1,000,000 DPS. Can you guys imagine if it was like any other viable spell on a 7 link? It would do like, 11k, 11 million DPS, or like at least 7 or something. You know what I mean? Anyway, this is for the righteous fire setup. For the auras, it's purity of fire. For that additional maximum fire res, male violence, because we're doing damage over time. And enduring cry, just to, you know, sometimes press a quick button. It's anomalous as well, and faster work by speed. Shield charge, faster attacks, fortify, and inspiration, just shield charging around. The only nuance here is that I'm using Infernal Cry, right? And Infernal Cry exerts my shield charge. And what Infernal Cry does is it exerts its physical damage conversion to fire. So the exertion makes it so my shield charge does fire damage as well, which is bad, right? So this is the only contradiction in this build, I guess. Not the only one, but you don't want to do fire hit damage because it will proc Ellie Equilibrium and you will be fucked, and they will get plus 25 fire resistance. So yeah, that's why when I press this, I don't really shield charge, right? It's only in ultimatums, just run around. Kind of how I decided to negate it, because explosions are kind of mandatory, felt for me anyway. That's the nuance I wanted to get out of the way. Link to inspiration, Scorching Ray to apply exposure, and Divergent Frostblink. It's a movement skill to get over obstacles, and it's Frostblink because cold damage, right? Yeah, not fire. Flame Dash wouldn't work. Orb of Storms, Hex Touch, Flammability to apply flammability on bosses and shit. Flasks, Bottle Faith, because it's damage. It's Consecrated Ground Region. You know, not much flask-wise for this build. So this is what I went with. It's just, you know, it's the best flask. Why not use it, yeah? Witchfire Brew gives Despair Aura during mapping. I'm not gonna be, you know, putting Orb of Storms and Flammability every step I go. People used to do it, but you know, nowadays there's just too many monsters and too many times you have to press this. Alchemist's Quicksilver, movement speed is good. I went with Jade Flask because I'm getting like almost capped physical damage reduction anyway, and I don't, you know, I could have went with armor, but if I do Jade Flask and Stibnite Flask Witchfire, I get bunch evasion as well, 39% chance to evade, which is good. And I'm using Forbidden Taste. It recovers 99% life of use or up to full, and deals chaos damage over time, which doesn't matter because I have 86 chaos res, right? So basically no downside, full life flask. As for affixes, I only get curse immunity because, you know, I can be chill or frozen due to unstoppable. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the build. For Pantheon, I'm using Soul Solaris just for the take area damage. There's no really good choice. Maybe this one. Damage over time reduced. Also works with Righteous Fire. And Aberrath, fire damage while moving, also works with Righteous Fire. Kinda just the staple. I usually run Aberrath and one of these, Lunaris or Solaris, on most of the builds. This is it for the Righteous Fire Juggernaut. It's, you know, it's chunky, it's slow, it's steady, and not as steady as I wanted it to be. I'm not gonna lie. It was a fun project though. I learned that it's outdated as shit. Maybe they will buff it, hopefully. Anyway, guys, see you in the next league, I guess. Expedition Pog. Yeah, guys, let me know if you are as excited as I am for the new league. Grappa. Yeah, guys, make sure to check out my stream. I stream every day. Not these days though. These days I've been slacking off because like I don't got much to do. But anyway, check out my stream. Join our Discord. We have a lot of fun there, sharing memes and our setups and shit. Yeah. See you in the next one. See you in the new league, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye.